Hello, check. Yeah, I think this is recording everything. Okay. What is this video? I can't believe I'm saying this, but welcome to my YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel since some time now, but I would always just share my music, like my original music, covers, just a few things here and there, but I would never really share YouTube content, anything that was apart from music, basically. So I've decided I want to provide value through this channel and share things that I'm passionate about. And today is one of those days, and this is one of those videos. I don't even know where to begin. If you want to skip ahead to the part where I actually talk about the Bingo Vision Board, you can go ahead and do that. But before I begin, I'm going to share a little bit about what a vision board is and why you want to make one in the first place. Okay, so what is a vision board? Let's look at the Google definition of a vision board. It is apparently a collage of pictures, text, and other items that represent and affirm one's dreams and ambitions, created to help visualize and focus on one or more specific aspirations. I just think everybody has their own definition of a vision board. For me, I learned about it in 2021 during the second lockdown, and I was in a phase of life where I wanted to make a big change. I had big dreams and I wanted to start affirming and creating a new life. And that is when creating a vision board made the most sense to me. My very first vision board was actually in the form of a booklet. I wish I could show you. I just believe in jinxes, and there's a lot of goals and dreams that I have on that vision board that have actually come true and some that haven't come true. So I wish I could show you, but I wouldn't. In short though, I made it in a form of a booklet that I would wake up every day and read through. I would just wake up and I would go through that booklet, feel that life that I'm trying to affirm, and just imagine living that life for a while. I would do that for 15 to 20 minutes, sometimes even more. Actually, I've done it for as long as 30 minutes as well. Wow, this mic is heavy. I should get a stand for this. Okay, can you tell it's my first video? So that is why I started making a vision board. I have made many versions of a vision board after that. Like, people like to get pictures from magazines or newspapers or online from Pinterest or Google, and they print it out, cut it out, and manually paste it on a board. That is the OG way of creating vision boards. I personally find that a little too hectic and messy, so I improvised it a little bit and created one on Canva. And Canva Pro features actually have this possibility. You can remove the background from photos, so that makes it really easy to overlay things, to put, say, a person on top of two pictures. Pink is my favorite color, so I created a vision board which was all things pink, and I in fact created 3 versions of it. One related to my personal life, one related to my career, and another one for another thing that I'm affirming specifically. So yeah, it's all up to you as to how you want to envision it. There are some people who make something called a mind movie, which is basically the same thing. You take pictures or videos of things that you want to affirm and you edit it in like a movie. It could be a 2-minute movie, 5-minute movie, up to you, and you watch it and you sit and manifest that life when you watch it. It's all about what gets you going, what gets your belief going, what gets your vision going in your mind. That's all that matters. And then there's also this method where you use audio. You actually reading out sentences, something like, I have achieved XYZ, or I have gained XYZ, I am living XYZ life. And you can create these sentences however you feel the most empowered and the most connected and living within your dream life and your goal life and whatever floats your boat, basically. All these types of vision boards help you mold yourself into the new identity that you're building for yourself. Now, I just want you to ask yourself, why you want to make a vision board. If your reason is just because everybody's making one, maybe you want to dig a little deeper and ask yourself why. I think you need to have a better reason than everybody's doing it. you need to have something which is coming from a genuine place, which makes you feel like you want to and need to make a change in your life, and you really feel that a vision board is going to help you make that happen. Because I'm telling you from personal experience, once you start making a vision board, there's no going back, because as soon as you start visualizing your goals through pictures and through statements and through phrases, you start believing in this power that I need to think and pick my goals carefully, because whatever I envision, I will get. There are so many people that I've seen online that share ideologies like, if I have dreamt it, it's already on its way. Or if I have the desire to have it, it's because I was meant to have it all along. So you wouldn't even put anything on your vision board that you think you probably wouldn't want. I know that sounds a little stupid, because why would you put something that you wouldn't want? But people get a little whimsical and they just put things for fun. But eventually, when you actually understand the power of a vision board and it starts working for you, you will be very careful about putting certain things on the board, because you know the power of the visions that you desire. Of course, not everything that you desire will actually come true, but a majority of it will. And that alone will give you the confidence that anything is possible. And then you'll be very careful about putting things on your board. So, what are we talking about today? We are discussing a bingo vision board. I could have done the OG vision board, but there are way too many videos online about how you can make the OG vision board. If you want, I can still make another video of the Canva version of the vision board that I find the most practical, because you can just create the whole thing online and then just print it out instead of printing individual pictures out and then pasting them later. It's just much wiser to do it all online, the adjustment and everything, and then you print it out. We can do that later. But today, we're gonna do a bingo vision board. It's much cooler. It's the new thing. I saw a creator talk about it and I loved the idea. And I've made one for myself. That is not the one I'm gonna share, but I will share a template with you that you can work with. So let's get into it. So what is the process of making a vision board? There are many systems. Sometimes people just go into it randomly. They'll make a random list of goals and put up pictures for it. Over time, I've realized that it's better to be more holistic about it. And there is this list of things that you should follow to think of these goals. There are like 6 to 7 attributes that you can think about. I personally love this circle. Both of these are the perfect way to start thinking about what your goals are. You don't have to create a goal necessarily for each of these attributes, but it's just a nice reference to get you thinking. Like, how do you want to change your appearance? How do you want to change your career or your financial goals? How do you want to change your life in terms of your relations? These are just prompts for you to start thinking about, and then you can just take it from there. You don't necessarily have to have a goal in each aspect, but this ensures that you don't leave any stone unturned and you think about everything. So the first step would be take this list and start writing your goals according to this list. Not every point needs to have a list necessarily, but you can just start off by this. You start writing some goal. I'll put up an example over here. For physical things, I could say something like, I want to look a certain way, I want to start dressing in a certain way, or I want to weigh a certain weight. Similarly, financially, I want to be able to get a job that pays double what I'm currently earning, or I want to start a business that helps me pay off my debts. It could be anything, right? And you just start writing everything. Now, the fun part, which is how do you make a bingo vision board? I'm just gonna pull it up. We're going to do 25 goals for 2025. These 25 goals can be a mix of the goals that you've written in the previous step. Now, what you need to think about is 2 types of goals, okay? There's something called input goals and something called output goals. Anything that you have control over is an input goal. Anything that you don't have control over is an output goal. So an example would be, I want to get really popular on Instagram and I want to be able to get 1 million followers. Now that's a vague output goal that's not necessarily in your hands. But what is an input goal that is connected to this, which is in your hands? Creating content. So if I give myself a goal, which is I want to create 20 reels within the next 3 weeks. And if I do that, I'm going to get closer to my output goal, which is of earning 1 million followers on Instagram eventually. So do you see the difference? One, you have full control over. You can control how many reels you make, but you can't necessarily control the outcome of it, which is how many followers you earn. And there are many things in life which can be distributed into input and output. Similarly, if we take an example of working out, I want to lose 5 kgs. Now, this is an output goal. An input goal would be I will go to the gym 5 days a week and I will portion control in a way that I have a 500 kilocalorie deficit every day. That is something I can control, the workout bit and the food bit. But what will be the outcome? I'm not so sure of. Do you see the difference? So, what I like about the Bingo vision board is it's not as whimsical and as dramatic and as up in the air as a OG vision board. You can sort of dream of anything and everything in that, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it can guide you as to how you can get there. I mean, sure, you will put in the work to get there, but it's just, you get what I mean, right? Like, it's just up to chance completely, you know? What we want to be able to do is we want to write a mixture of 70% input goals and 30% output goals, which we will put in our Bingo vision board. Now, how are you going to place them and how are you going to title them? Oh, one more thing, actually, before I go into that. I personally believe a new Bingo vision board should be created every 3 months. So every year, basically, you're creating 4 Bingo vision boards. The reason why I suggest that, it's easy for us to envision our workload, what we can achieve in 3 months rather than what we can achieve in 6 months or 9 months or even 12 months. And this also applies to the concept of a 12-week year, which has been discussed in multiple videos, which I'll link below. Just Google 12-week year. It just means that according to the Parkinson's law, work spreads according to the time you have. So if you just tell yourself that a year is 12 weeks long instead of 12 months long, then that's what your brain is going to accept, and you're going to get 4 times more done than you would do in a year if you tell yourself that a year is just 12 weeks long. That's basically the concept. But the way that I'm applying it here is that it's easier for you to think about your goals for the next 12 weeks instead of the next 24 weeks, right? So personally, I think we should create Bingo vision boards every 3 months. You probably might not be able to get a bingo, like you might not actually cross 5 across or 5 down or 5 diagonal, but we try, right? And with new information that we get, we give ourselves easier goals, more achievable goals that we can cross off, but we also keep a little bit of whimsy in the picture so that it's also fun. Okay, so coming back, say for example, one of your goals for the next 3 weeks between April, May and June is you want to be able to create a lot of content. So the content that we want to create in 3 weeks can be, say, 2 reels a week, which is very achievable. So 2 times 12, 24 reels. So completed 24 reels. That's it. That's what we're going to write. I'll reduce the font size. Completed 24 reels. As soon as you get that done, you cross it out. Another one can be financial goals. Let's take a financial goal. Let's assume you're running a business or you're starting a business and you want to get your first customer, your first paying customer. So you can just write, got my first paying customer. Okay. And that becomes your next goal. Write it completely randomly. Okay. Don't strategically write goals in like a cross or a down, especially the goals that are similar to each other, like all your financial goals in one line and then all your content creation goals in one line, all your appearance goals in another line. Don't do that. Write it randomly because that's when it's fun. Okay. Then let's say we have an appearance goal where we want to learn how to dress better. So maybe we do like a styling course. Completed a styling course because we'll learn something and hopefully we'll apply whatever we learn from this styling course. Right? And just like that, you populate your entire vision board and you take it from there. I also want you to add some of your whimsy goals, which is someone complimented me for my work ethic if that's one of your goals. Or someone complimented me for how I looked. And you can be more specific about like what you want to be complimented on. And when somebody actually does that, you can cross that out. If you are a singer-songwriter and you want to release music, you can write 2 types of goals. Number 1, got 1,000 plays on one of my songs, on one of my newly released songs in the next 3 months. But this is an output goal. An input goal for this could be break it down. So went into the studio, like completed a studio recording for my next song, right? Or conducted a songwriting session with a collaborator. Do you see where I'm going with this? So you can take this to any kind of creative level and you can go crazy with it. Just write 25 goals super randomly and then you print it out. You can print it out. You can change the colors of the template that I've given you. I will also write the steps of how you can copy the template in the description. But yeah, you just have to go to Canva, copy the template and make it your own. Right now we're in the end of March and April onwards is when you can think your 2025 is beginning. We still have 3 quarters left, so you still have an opportunity to create your bingo vision board 3 times over, and I say go for it. Create your bingo vision board before April 1st. Print it out, paste it somewhere where you can start crossing things out. And a little tip, you can actually have pictures associated with each of your goals. So instead of crossing it out and just seeing a cross every time you've accomplished something, how about whenever you do accomplish something, you can take a picture of what you've accomplished, make it into that small tiny piece that can fit on that little box where you've completed something, and then you cut that out and paste that on top of it if you want to go an extra mile for this, That's just something creative that you can try. And as soon as you have your first bingo, which is 5 goals crossed in a vertical line, or 5 goals crossed in a horizontal line, or 5 goals crossed in a diagonal line, as soon as you have that, you should just celebrate. Just go ahead and celebrate. I know it's easy to predict once you've designed your bingo as to what line you can actually accomplish, but try to be random about it. Try to design everything so randomly that most of your goals get accomplished as soon as you do a bingo. And the cool thing about bingo vision board is you don't even have to accomplish all of those 25 goals, right? You just have to get at least 5 of them to have your first celebration. And then if you have more after that, keep going. You can keep doing more and more from there on. So are you up for it? If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I would be happy to help you out. I personally am going to update my bingo vision board because I was not able to do a bingo this time. I am also yet to print mine out. I actually got late in printing mine out, so I couldn't even see the goals that I've set for myself. I did accomplish a few of them, maybe 4 out of the 25, but they were not in line. But anyway, we move on, and this time I'm gonna keep the goals more achievable, more fun, more accessible for me, and print it out, keep it in front of me so that I have this motivation to start crossing it out. And as soon as I am done with a specific one, I know that I'm gonna treat myself. So more content like this will be shared soon, and see you in the next one.